Sergei Kravanov's life changes forever with the death of his mother. Her passing leaves a deep emotional void, but it also marks the beginning of a much darker path. Soon after the funeral, Sergei and his half-brother Dmitry are taken by their father, Nikolai Kravanov, a powerful and ruthless drug trafficker. Nikolai believes the world belongs to predators, not the weak, and he intends to shape his sons into successors worthy of his empire. Nikolai brings the boys under his control, removing them from any sense of normal childhood. He begins preparing them to inherit his criminal operations, teaching them discipline through fear and cruelty rather than care. Sergei, though physically strong, is deeply disturbed by his father's methods. Dmitry, quieter and more observant, absorbs everything in silence. To teach them what he calls a lesson in survival, Nikolai takes Sergei and Dmitry on a hunting trip to Ghana. The trip is not meant to be a bonding experience. It is meant to harden them. In the wild, Nikolai believes nature itself will teach them what it means to dominate or be destroyed. During the hunt, things go wrong. A lion attacks the group, and in the chaos, Sergei throws himself between the animal and his brother. The lion mauls Sergei severely, leaving him broken and bleeding. Dmitry watches helplessly as his brother collapses, believing Sergei is about to die. Instead of killing Sergei, the lion does something unexpected. It drags his injured body away into the wilderness. Sergei fades in and out of consciousness as he is carried deeper into the jungle, his fate uncertain. The lion brings Sergei to a remote settlement, where a young girl named Calypso finds him. Seeing that he is close to death, she uses a mysterious serum to heal his wounds. The substance saves Sergei's life, stabilizing him long enough for Calypso to call for help. Before rescue arrives, she leaves behind a tarot card, a symbol that will later carry meaning for Sergei. Sergei survives, but he is no longer the same. As he recovers, he realizes his body has changed. His senses are heightened beyond anything human. His strength, speed, and reflexes feel animalistic. His connection to the natural world feels instinctive, almost primal. When Sergei reunites with his father, the truth shatters whatever trust he had left. Nikolai reveals that he deliberately killed the lion that attacked Sergei. He claims it was necessary to teach his sons a lesson about dominance and power. To Nikolai, the lion was nothing more than a tool. Sergei is horrified. The animal that spared his life was slaughtered as part of his father's twisted philosophy. Disgusted and unable to accept Nikolai's worldview, Sergei makes a decision that will define his future. He runs away. Sergei flees to Russia, seeking refuge at an animal sanctuary once owned by his mother. The sanctuary becomes his sanctuary in every sense of the word. There, surrounded by animals rather than criminals, Sergei finds purpose. He learns to survive off the land, honing his instincts and abilities. Over time, he embraces the changes in his body instead of fearing them. 16 years pass. Sergei Kravanov is gone. In his place stands Kravan. Kravan has become a vigilante, hunting those he believes deserve punishment. He targets criminals. People who exploit others, traffickers, arms dealers, and abusers of power. He does not see himself as a hero, but as a hunter enforcing balance. His methods are brutal, efficient, and precise. One of his missions takes him to a Russian prison, where an arms trafficker is being held. Kravan infiltrates the facility with ease, using his heightened senses and strength to overpower guards and eliminate his target. The kill is swift. Kravan leaves no trace behind. After the mission, Kravan travels to London. The reason is personal. It is his brother Dmitry's birthday, and despite everything that happened in their past, Kravan still feels responsible for him. Dmitry has lived a very different life, staying closer to their father's world, even if he has not fully embraced it. Their reunion is brief and tense, filled with unspoken resentment and unresolved trauma. Before they can reconnect, mercenaries storm in and abduct Dmitry. Kravan reacts instantly, but he is too late. His brother is taken right in front of him. Kravan contacts Nikolai, demanding answers. Nikolai refuses to pay the ransom. He dismisses Dmitri's kidnapping as a problem that must be handled through strength, not negotiation. Kraven realizes that his father is willing to sacrifice his own son if it suits his goals. Determined to save Dmitri, Kraven begins tracking every lead he can find. His investigation leads him back to Calypso, the girl who once saved his life. Now an adult, Calypso works as a lawyer. She has built a legitimate life far removed from the jungle where they first met. Kraven convinces Calypso to help him, reminding her of their shared past and the debt he owes her. Though hesitant, she agrees, sensing that Kraven's mission is larger than personal revenge. Meanwhile, Dmitri meets the man responsible for his kidnapping, Alexei Sitsevich. Alexei reveals himself as a product of a dangerous experiment that granted him immense strength and altered his physical form, giving him the power and appearance of a rhinoceros. His transformation is both terrifying and unstable. Alexei explains his goal. He wants to overthrow Nikolai Kravinov and take control of his criminal empire. To do that, he needs Dmitri. Alexei proposes an alliance, believing Dmitri's bloodline and insider knowledge make him valuable. Alexei soon discovers Kraven's connection to Dmitri. Rather than confronting him directly, Alexei sets a trap. He lures Kraven to a monastery in Turkey, promising information about his brother. Kraven arrives alone, sensing danger but willing to take the risk. The monastery becomes a battlefield when Alexei's mercenaries launch an ambush. Despite being heavily outnumbered, Kraven survives through sheer skill and instinct. He escapes, but Alexei is far from finished. Recognizing Kraven as a serious threat, Alexei hires a professional assassin known as the Foreigner. The Foreigner possesses a rare and disturbing ability, ocular hypnosis. By locking eyes with his targets, he can disorient them, disrupt their senses, and leave them helpless. Kraven and Calypso retreat to the animal sanctuary in Russia, hoping to regroup and plan their next move. Instead, Alexei and the Foreigner track them down. The sanctuary is attacked. Kraven is overwhelmed when the Foreigner uses neurotoxin to weaken him. Disoriented and barely able to fight, Kraven is left vulnerable as the Foreigner moves in for the kill. Calypso refuses to let Kraven die. Using a crossbow, she kills the Foreigner, saving Kraven at the last moment. She then uses the same serum that once saved his life to revive him again, restoring his strength. Now fully recovered and enraged, Kraven prepares for the final confrontation. With the Foreigner dead and his strength restored, Kraven prepares to face the man responsible for everything that has followed him since childhood. Alexei Sitsevich arrives at the sanctuary, confident that his transformation has made him unstoppable. Surrounded by animals and open land, the sanctuary becomes the stage for their final confrontation. Kraven sets his trap using the environment rather than brute force. He triggers a buffalo stampede, causing chaos across the land. The animals charge forward in a massive wave, forcing Alexei into a confined position. Cornered and enraged, Alexei reveals his full power. His body transforms completely, turning him into the Rhino. His strength increases dramatically, and for a brief moment, he overwhelms Kraven, slamming him into the ground and nearly crushing him. Despite Alexei's raw power, Kraven refuses to yield. Drawing on his enhanced instincts, speed, and understanding of animals, he regains control of the fight. Using the momentum of the stampede and Alexei's own aggression against him, Kraven delivers the final blow. Alexei is killed, bringing an end to his attempt to overthrow the Kravinov Empire. With Alexei dead, Kraven begins to piece together the truth behind the events that led to this confrontation. He realizes that Alexei should never have known about him or his sanctuary. The only person who could have revealed his existence is his father. Kraven tracks down Nikolai Kravinov, seeking answers rather than vengeance. When confronted, Nikolai confirms Kraven's suspicions. He reveals that he was aware Alexei was targeting him and deliberately allowed events to unfold. Nikolai manipulated both of his sons, believing that eliminating Alexei through them was more efficient than handling the threat himself. Nikolai speaks without remorse. To him, his sons are hunters shaped by the same instincts he values. He believes Sergei's rejection of him is hypocrisy, insisting that Kraven is no different from himself. Disgusted by his father's lack of accountability, Kraven refuses to kill him directly. Instead, he ensures Nikolai's fate through indirect means. Kraven steals his father's ammunition, knowing this will leave him defenseless. Later, Nikolai is killed by a bear, a death shaped by the same natural law he preached all his life. 1 year passes. Kraven visits Dmitri, expecting to find a man freed from their father's influence. Instead, he is shocked by what he sees. Dmitri has willingly inherited Nikolai's criminal empire. Rather than rejecting it, Dmitri has embraced it, believing power is the only truth that matters. Dmitri reveals another disturbing transformation. Through the same doctor who experimented on Alexei, Dmitri has gained shape-shifting abilities. He demonstrates his power, showing that he can alter his appearance at will. Dmitri confronts Kraven with a harsh truth. He tells him that despite claiming moral superiority, Kraven is no different from Nikolai. Both of them are hunters, driven by the pursuit of the next great challenge. The only difference, according to Dmitri, is the excuse they use to justify it. Kraven leaves troubled by his brother's words. Returning home, Kraven discovers a final message from his father. Along with the note, he finds a vest crafted from the skin of the lion Nikolai killed years ago. The same lion that spared Sergei's life and changed his destiny now returns as a symbol of his past. Kraven puts on the vest. The act signifies his acceptance of who he is and where he comes from, even as he rejects his father's ideology. He stands alone, neither fully rejecting nor fully embracing his legacy, bound by instinct but guided by his own code. The hunter remains.